Email was supposed to be dead for small businesses back around 2006 to 2010, and it's not. But if your restaurant sends emails like the one I'm going to discuss today, your list will be dead.
My goal is to help restaurant owners finally get to where they want to go. But more than that, my goal is to find entrepreneurs within that segment that actually know what it means to hustle. That's my goal. Come on the journey with me.
Restaurant Marketing Secrets, episode 347. I'm your host, Matt Plapp, and we're brought to you by America's Best Restaurants. America's Best Restaurants is on a path to help you, independent restaurant owners, find more frequent customers. And what helps you find more frequent customers is understanding how to reach your customers and get them to engage. This email is the exact opposite of that. So let's talk about what makes email work, what makes it fail. My professional marketing career started in the late 90s with a job in radio advertising. In the fall of 1999, me, my brother, and my dad started a boat and RV consignment shop. And in 2000, I fell in love with email marketing. But a few years earlier, I was not in love with it. In fact, I used to make fun of my wife. You see, Christy at that time was my fiance. We both had a dorm room in Cartmel Tower on Morehead State's campus, which at the time, don't know if it still is, but at the time it was a co-ed dorm. The floors alternated men and women. And when I couldn't find Christy by knocking on her door, I knew there was typically one place she would be: the email lab in the lobby of Cartmel. I'd go down there, she'd be there, typing away to her family and friends, to which I would make fun of her about this stupid thing called email, because at that time I had no clue really what it was. At least I didn't have an appreciation for what it was going to become in my life. So flash forward to 2000, 2001-ish, and we took on a line of 6-wheel ATVs called Max ATVs. And at that time, our dealership had amassed an email list of around 1,000 people. We had done a few shows. We had people coming on our lot. We had a tool on our website. Yes, a tool on a website that I built from scratch in 1999 that accepted inquiries from people. Stuff that a lot of you don't have today, unfortunately, which amazes me. Different topic of a podcast. But I had this email list, and we had these ATVs, and we decided to do some demo days. Come out to this farm, test drive them, check them out. I'll never forget one of my first emails. And the reason I'll never forget it is because somewhere around 600 people replied to it. You see, back then, when you would send an email for your business, people would not only open it and not only read it, but they would reply. That was the concept. It was a communication tool. It wasn't a marketing tool. It was a communication tool. And that one email I sent, got about 600 replies. And here's why that was tricky. I was selling radio advertising throughout the day. My computer with email for the company was at my house, my condo actually. And so I was always able to only able to respond when I was at the house. So every night I would come home, I'd open them up, and I would patiently reply to these emails. And it took me a few days to get through them all. So now let's move forward to 2023. I got an email the other day, and it made me pause, and it made me think about what is the concept of email marketing, and what should restaurants expect from their emails, and how can restaurants get back to having email be a communication tool versus a spammy ass marketing tool. And I'm actually challenging myself and my own company with this. I know we'll never get back to those days of 1,000 emails going out and 600 replies. But the only way you can start to claw your way back to success is to avoid what this restaurant did. Now, number one, I'm looking at this email. The first mistake is it's from a hospitality group. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm in the restaurant space. I am an avid eater outer, meaning I eat out more than you can ever imagine. I eat out more than the majority of your customers, and I would be willing to say I've probably eaten out more in the last couple of years than most of our clients combined. Why am I telling you this? Because I interact with a lot of brands. And I can tell you right now, I do not know the name of the hospitality group that owns the majority of the restaurants I go to that are in a hospitality group. Now, I know some of them are. There's Barleycorns, one of my favorite restaurants. There's a group, I can't think of the name of it, but there's an attorney that owns that and a bunch of other stuff, and they have a hospitality group. This isn't from them, by the way. But if I got an email from them, as a person in the biz, I might, One Holland, I just thought of it. One Holland's the name of their group. I might recognize it. But a consumer is not going to recognize it. So number one, your emails have to come from who they know you as. And if I'm signing up for a restaurant's email list, I am not signing up for your entire damn hospitality group. And the reason I bring this up is this email is from a hospitality group. And then in the subject line, it says, check out what's going on in August. I open this email up. The header is their hospitality group logo. There is then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 restaurants in this email, of which one of them's a duplicate because they have 2 locations apparently. Let's see if that's what that is. Yep, they have 2 different locations. Now, there's a lot wrong with this email, by the way. But the number one thing is, think about this. Let's imagine that restaurant number 5 that I'm looking on here at, which talks about their sushi spot. Imagine that was the restaurant that I went to, that I ate at, that I trusted with my information. And then a week later, I get hit with an email from a hospitality group that has a billion things in it about restaurants I didn't know were associated with it. You might be thinking as a restaurant, that is an opportunity to highlight and showcase all of your stuff, but I would argue no. The email, number one, should come from the restaurant I signed up for, not a hospitality group. Number 2, the email should be about the restaurant I signed up for. And number 3, if you want to market the hospitality group, send me somewhere else to find out about that. Did you know we owned 11 other restaurants? And some of these might fit right into your taste palette. Click here to check out what else we have under our umbrella of companies. A lot of ways to do that. So that's the first task. The second one is the number of call to actions in here. Now, back around 2001, I started speaking on behalf of an email company called Constant Contact. Constant Contact, I had went to a seminar they had on email. We were using Constant Contact for our clients. It was one of the only products back then that had the robust features that we needed. So we were using Constant Contact, and they had a seminar down in Louisville, Kentucky that Ashley and I went to, and this man named Steve Robinson was the speaker. After the event, I walked up to him and I asked him a few questions, and he said, "Man, you seem like a little different than everybody else here." And we explained we were a marketing company. Everybody else was small businesses. A relationship was formed, and he said, "Will you be my Constant Contact liaison in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area?" I said, "What does that mean?" "Well, I'm looking for somebody to give basic seminars on marketing. You can't sell. Like, if you're going to sell your marketing service, you can't do it. You can't sell email if you're speaking for a Constant Contact. It's just informative, brought to you by Constant Contact." So I started doing it. And what was really unique about it was the majority of my seminars revolved around how we were using email marketing and social media for our clients. I held a lot of these at Hofbrauhaus Newport when they became a client. And we would get anywhere from 30 people to 300 people at these seminars. 300 was the dime a dozen. We didn't have those that often. Does that make sense? Dime a dozen? I think that's what that is. But they were the needle in a haystack, we'll say. The rest of them were 30 or 40 people. And we'd have these seminars, and we would teach people how to use email. And I'm telling you, what I taught then is still true today. Simplicity. Your message has to be clear. There has to be a clear call to action. And you have to send your message from your brand exactly how they know you on Facebook, on the sign at your restaurant, on your website. I'm sorry, but if I pull up to any of these restaurants and I interact with their marketing everywhere, I'm going to promise you that I'm not going to be confronted with their hospitality brand. Like, for example, I just clicked on one of the restaurants. I am on the website. The cover of the website has nothing to do with the hospitality. It has the restaurant's name. I scroll down. Nothing about hospitality. Nothing about hospitality. Good looking website, by the way. great pictures. Nothing. I get to the very bottom of the email. There is nothing about the hospitality group, or not email, the website. But yet, I'm interacting with an email that is about a hospitality group. So a couple other things I taught, which this email violates, and we had a case study. Constant Contact had a major client that was a flower company, and they did a case study with them, and we got the results, and we got to use it. The case study was that this flower company sent out an email with multiple options of flowers people could buy. I want to say it was like 5. And then they did one that had 3. Then they did one that had 1. And I think they actually had one that had 2 as well. But what they found at the end of the day was the email with 1 option was the one that got bought more often. And the reason they found was that the minute you introduce selection, people have to think. When they're buying something, where do I go? Do I want red, blue, or white? And so Constant Contact study with this flower company found that this flower company was better off sending an email with 1 call to action, not 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, this restaurant, the first restaurant I've got here, has their specials, has the links to click. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Sorry, there's one more. 20 calls to action. So in essence, they violated everything that I know to work, that I believe in, and that you should do in email marketing. My friends, marketing is effective when you follow the rules. Just like if I market a shitty restaurant, the marketing's not going to work if you don't perform your task inside the restaurant. Well, email marketing is not going to work if you screw up what you put in the email. There are some things that I know to be true that were true in 1999 that are true in 2023. The sender needs to be consistent. The brand needs to be consistent of how they know you from your website, from your email, from your store sign, from your menu, from your social media handle. I should not click an email and go to a website, the website be branded one way, the email be branded the other, because these restaurants are branded as the restaurants on their website on social media. In fact, a couple of them I can't find anywhere where the hospitality group's name is even mentioned. But yet the email came from them. So not only did you violate the trust of your customers by sending an email from a sender they didn't sign up for in most cases, you're also going to have a less effective delivery rate, open rate, and click rate. I also know it to be true that you have to have less calls to action. They are trying to be everything to everybody, and by sending this email, they are approaching nobody correctly. Your email should have 1 to 2, maybe a 3rd call to action. We advise our clients, and I'll advise you, take your list every month, chop it up. Ideally, you might do an email to your best customers, a different email to the people who told you they were brand new that you don't have proof they walked in a restaurant. You could do one to females and men. You could do one to everybody that might have multiple topics that approach that, but not 15 to 20 calls to action. 1 to 3. And those calls to action should be clear what you want to do. The only thing they did right in here was they had buttons for make a reservation. If maybe this email came to me from the steakhouse that I signed up for initially and had a giant steak that looked amazing and said, Matt, we miss you. We don't see that you've been in a while. Click below to make a reservation and come enjoy a steak. Well, shit. That means they know I haven't been in a while. They gave me 1 call to action. They segmented the list. But in this case, they're emailing everybody every possible outcome. If you market incorrectly, it will not work. Email marketing worked in 1999. It works in 2023. I'd be challenging you in probably 2029. It'll still be working. But there will be people out there doing crap like this. Restaurant owners, take pride in what you do in your marketing as well as what you do in your kitchen inside your four walls, cleaning the bathrooms. If you do not clean the bathrooms correctly, customers will notice it, as you know. If you do not email them correctly, they're not going to tell you. They're just not going to engage in it. And then you're going to think, oh, this email sucks. No. Email marketing doesn't suck. Text marketing doesn't suck. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, X doesn't suck. All of it works. It just comes down to if you're following the rules of engagement and how to use it. That's all I got. Hopefully you open the email with this podcast and you listen to the podcast about this email being sent to you. See it. So as you know, I don't charge for my content. We don't have sponsors. We don't have product placement in here. But what I want your help with is spreading the word. If you're finding value here, do me a favor. Share this on your social media. Share an episode with something that made sense to you, that's relevant to your restaurant, that you got value from, and tag Matt Plapp and America's Best Restaurants. Also, go to America's Best Restaurants on Facebook and on Google and leave us a review. Let us know the impact we've had on your restaurant with our roadshow, with our marketing help, or with our podcast. And last but not least, if you want to take the next step and help me out a lot, and help us out a lot, text me a testimonial, 859-743-2408. That's my cell. A selfie video would be awesome about the impact this content or our company is having on your independent restaurant. But worst case scenario, just a few kind words. The way we can help lift this industry up is to help get content like this to more independent restaurant owners, and you are the key to spreading the word. I appreciate your support. Have an amazing day.